Hi everyone, welcome back to Zach's Tech. I'm Zach, and today we're diving into the world of networking with a detailed guide on IPConfig commands and options. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced user, understanding IPConfig is essential for troubleshooting and managing your network settings. So, let's get started. Before we delve into the commands and options, let's briefly discuss what IPConfig is. IPConfig, short for Internet Protocol Configuration, is a command line tool that provides information about your computer's network configuration. It's available on Windows systems and is a powerful tool for diagnosing and resolving network issues. The most basic IPConfig command is simply typing IPConfig like I have done here. When you enter this command and press enter, you get a wealth of information about your network interfaces. That is IP addresses, subnet masks, and more. In most home networks or small office networks nowadays, you will have a router connected to the internet. The router will have a DHCP server that will provide a private IP address to your computers on your local area network. Then the router will be connected to your internet service provider. The router will get a public IP address from the internet service provider via DHCP. When you type IPConfig, what shows is the private IP address leased to your computer by the router's DHCP server, unless in rare cases where you are connected directly to the ISP's modem. For a more detailed view, you can type IPConfig / then all. This command provides extensive information, including DNS server details, MAC addresses, and DHCP lease information for all network adapters. As you can see, we both have IP version 4 and IP version 6 addresses. This is called dual stack. Dual stack involves running both IPv4 and IPv6 concurrently on network interfaces and network infrastructure. Dual stack is a transitional strategy that facilitates the coexistence of IPv4 and IPv6 during the migration from IPv4 to IPv6. The implementation of dual stack is crucial because, as the world transitions to IPv6, there will still be many devices and services that rely on IPv4. By supporting both protocols simultaneously, networks can ensure compatibility and connectivity between devices using either version of the Internet Protocol. It also provides other details like the physical address, that is the MAC address. This shows the media access control address of each network interface, which is a unique identifier assigned to the network adapter. Subnet mask shows the subnet mask associated with each IPv4 address. DHCP server specifies the IP address of the DHCP server that assigned the IPv4 address. Default gateway indicates the default gateway used for routing traffic outside the local network. DNS servers lists the IP addresses of the DNS servers used for domain name resolution. By using the IPConfig Forward / all command, users and network administrators can gather comprehensive details about the network settings of their Windows computer. This information is valuable for troubleshooting network issues, configuring network parameters, and understanding the overall network configuration. The IPConfig Display DNS command is a Windows command used to display the contents of the domain name system DNS resolver cache. The DNS resolver cache stores the results of recent domain name resolutions, mapping domain names to their corresponding IP addresses. This cache helps improve the efficiency of subsequent DNS queries by avoiding the need to query DNS servers for frequently accessed domain names. When you run this command in the command prompt, it provides a list of the cached DNS records. The information includes both positive and negative DNS entries. Positive entries contain the results of successful DNS resolutions, while negative entries indicate that a particular domain name could not be resolved. Running this command is useful for diagnosing DNS-related issues, understanding the DNS resolution history on a computer, and troubleshooting domain name resolution problems. The IPConfig flush DNS command in Windows is used to flush or clear the contents of the domain name system DNS resolver cache on the local computer. Flushing the DNS cache has several purposes, and understanding its significance is important for network troubleshooting and maintenance. If you encounter DNS resolution problems, such as being unable to access certain websites or services, flushing the DNS cache can help resolve these issues. It forces the operating system to discard the current cache and perform fresh DNS lookups the next time a domain name is accessed. DNS cache poisoning or spoofing attacks involve manipulating the DNS cache to redirect users to malicious websites. Flushing the DNS cache helps mitigate the impact of such attacks by removing the poisoned entries. The IPConfig Release command in Windows is used to release the current IP configuration of all network interfaces on a computer. When you run this command, the operating system relinquishes its currently assigned IP address and any other related configuration information obtained from a DHCP Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol server. In addition to releasing the IP address, IPConfig Release command also breaks the association with any DHCP leases that the computer may have. This includes releasing the lease on the IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, and other configuration parameters. It helps ensure a clean slate for acquiring new network parameters and can be part of the process in resolving network connectivity issues. The IPConfig Renew command in Windows is used to renew the current IP configuration of all network interfaces on a computer. When you run this command, the operating system attempts to obtain a new IP address and other network configuration parameters from a DHCP. When a computer is experiencing network connectivity issues, using IPConfig Renew can be a troubleshooting step. It helps in situations where the current DHCP lease may have expired, and renewing the lease can resolve connectivity problems. It's important to note that the IPConfig Renew command is effective only for network interfaces configured to obtain IP addresses dynamically via DHCP. If your computer is using a static manually configured IP address, this command will not have any effect, as static addresses are not obtained from a DHCP server. The primary purpose of IPConfig Register DNS is to register or refresh the DNS records associated with the computer on the DNS server. This includes records such as the record and PTR pointer records. When there are changes in the network, such as the addition of a new DNS server, changes in DNS configuration, or the introduction of new DNS records, using this command can help ensure that the computer's DNS records are up to date. In Active Directory environments, this command is often used during the process of joining a computer to a domain. It helps in the registration of the computer's DNS records in the Active Directory integrated DNS zone. It's important to note that in many cases, dynamic DNS registration occurs automatically, and manual intervention with this command is not frequently required. This command is typically used in specific troubleshooting scenarios or to force an immediate update of DNS records. By default, the IPConfig Release command will release the IP addresses for all network adapters. You can also specify a single network adapter. To do this, you will need to enter the name of the adapter that you find here in the results of IPConfig. For example, if you only want to release the IP address of your wireless network adapter, you can type the following. And there you have it, a comprehensive guide to IPConfig commands and options. Understanding these commands is a valuable skill for anyone dealing with network troubleshooting and management. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more tech tutorials, and hit that notification bell to stay updated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.